Last time on Edgeworth Investigations.
There's that pompous attitude of yours again. Oh, it's just me now, is it? It's just me, Lady Servon Karma.
Hey guys, Ryden here, and welcome back to Edgeworth Investigations. I did skip the transitional cutscene from our last episode. Oh god, my ears. Spare me. Okay. I forgot what we were doing here almost entirely, but we'll figure it out, because that's what we do here. Miss Melee. Oh god, she's asleep again. We're never gonna be able to wake her up. Not now, not ever. Miss Melee! Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zhangfa. Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zhangfa. Oh. Miss Cammy Melee. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did. No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Melee. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Melee. You please tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I mean, your assets are rather large, and in this series, that means you're a prime suspect. Oh yeah. I love how that's part of her testimony. Like, if I press that, what's even gonna come out of that, you know? From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Oh yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Melee, wake up. She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her, or giving her a 5-hour energy. Okay, I feel like there's something instantly wrong with this. But I haven't played it in a bit to be able to remember it, so allow me to refresh with the evidence off screen really quickly. Alright, I'd say I'm fairly caught up now. Anyways, let's just start pressing her, because even after looking through all the evidence, I can't see anything that instantly stands out as lies. Hold it! If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class in the lounge. Between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what are you doing in the attendance room at that time? Oh, you don't want to know what I'm doing in the attendance room at that time. Eating, and then having a most delicious dream. You mean you're neglecting your duties? No way, sleeping's part of our job too, you know. Yeah, I'm not gonna get anything out of this statement. Whoops, I forgot. I hate how it does that and it goes like to the next statement you're on. What do you mean? I've been awake this whole time. Oh, it's alright if you were sleeping, pal. Pay no mind to the scruffy detective beside you and wake up. Hurry up and wake up, Miss Melee. Enough with the clowning around. This is my show and I will resolve the contradictions as I see fit. Edgeworth breaking the fourth wall here. I'm gonna go for the fourth one, because the first and third ones don't seem like they'll yield any relevant information. So you're all alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped in their head to say hi. Oh, well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Should I? Shut up, Edgeworth. Stop talking to yourself. Fine, I'll just do a thing. God. I want to look cool for once. You never let me do it. Miss Melee, there's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. How? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m. Why would that be? That's not it. No. Wait a minute. Bought at the in-flight shop and left in the attendance room at 5:40 a.m. It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance. Oh, that's right, because she would have had to buy it and then come back, which means she was not alone the whole time. Gotcha. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Ms. Melee. What, you think I can read? Well, how? A receipt for what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenario bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m., Miss Tenario. Yes. How? Why is the killer here? I thought you had locked her up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenario, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in the in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Melee there at the time? No. So Miss Melee, where were you between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? This isn't gonna work. Miss Cammy Melee. Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions around here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Lady, I think you're making this worse for yourself in a way. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you think then maybe you should also suspect Ms. Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Does it? Please leave Miss Tenario out of the conversation. Only you're under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of lied. I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Wow, that didn't hurt at all. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Rebuttal. Look, I know you're suspecting me because yeah. No, it's not the only reason I have for suspecting you. Your statements regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. But say I wasn't an attendant, you wouldn't suspect me then, would you? Yes. Suppose that's true enough. That conversation yielded nothing. She's already being detained for further questioning, or have you already forgotten? Oh yeah, I guess I just forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, I can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. Except for me, but I didn't do it. I can't believe you. You would think that? I mean, me, a killer? Miss Melee, what do you mean just now by no one else... Wait, no one else who could have done it? She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Is she? I don't... I guess she is. That's not wrong in any way. Huh. Well, whatever. We'll just keep interrogating her. And what are you in charge of, Miss Melee? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. But I spend so much time in there. It might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English. Oh, this is gonna tie in with Mr. Borginia, isn't it? I bet it is. Especially those who speak Borginian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why did you say so in the first place?
What else could I have meant?
Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian.
Ah, so you're good at lying and being a scumbag. She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian.
Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian.
Very interesting.
If you ask me, that makes super suspicious.
Actually, your on-the-job behavior makes you super suspicious in my eyes. I have you in my sights.
Huh? But why?
Well, Miss Tenario is busy with the passengers and all of her other duties, whatever she does, painting those horrid suitcases. You have a lot of free time on your hands, thus providing you with ample time to commit the crime.
Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you cease and desist in this line of conjectural questioning.
I won't allow you to bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer. Don't bring him up. Do not compare me to that filth. But I do not honestly believe Miss Melee does any actual work aboard this flight.
That's harsh, Edgeworth. It is kind of harsh. Well, that's not true, Mr. Edgeworth. Although, well... all I'm in charge of... Okay.
I need to find something. I need to find something or another. The statement that's standing out to me right now is either this one or this one. But I need to find out, like, there has to be something that signifies who's in charge of what job. Document in Borginian says statue was loaded on board in Europe, but statue is a fake. Instantaneous death resulting from blow to the... I don't know. I don't know what it wants from me here, honestly. Mr. Melee, it's very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else.
That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very
There you go, pushing everything onto her again.
I don't get what you're saying. It must be a really abstract concept, huh?
The only abstract thing here is the landscape inside your head. I don't know. I actually am completely clueless. It has to be this statement, but she's the one in charge of the elevator key card and the shop. Oh, wait a minute. Aha, she can't be in charge of the elevator keycard because this may be like terrible logic going on in my head right here, but since this documents in Borginian says statue is loaded on board in Europe, someone would have had to been working down here who knows Borginian to read that and confirm everything, so I'm going to assume that's her. If I am right, I hope I'm right, because I have no other idea. This question is one of the most stumper questions I've done. I believe your testimony contradicts this piece of evidence. Okay, maybe let's try presenting it at the other, statement and see if that works.
Really? You think so? I don't really get these kinds of things, so, you know.
I see. Then in that case, I might be wrong.
Your brain is about as awake as the flight attendant. Here, allow me to help you wake up.
But will you please stop that? I just ironed this suit. I don't need a second lashing. Exactly. Okay. Then try this one. Oh, I got it. Thank you, the music stopped. Only in this game is the music stopping a sign of, like, victory. Well, I guess if you, like, defeat a boss or something in a different game, but that's a different subject. So you are the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Borginia for a while. Aw, too bad you're gonna be a psychopath murderer. I think your character's adorable. If that's the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? She's just like, This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose. To lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue is loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Melee. Without your participation, the smuggling of Aleph Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you! How dare you fall asleep while I'm fingering what? Oh, wait. Is she blowing bubbles? That's a very interesting change in demeanor. Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There is no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. I hope that bubble pops when she freaks out. Really, all you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded into the plane properly. So, sorry about that. Seems she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just supposition, I'm surprised I even know that word. Even if I was involved in the smuggling. You can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. I can't get over, like, Francisca's voice. It's... I don't know. It doesn't fit her, although I like the voice. But it just doesn't seem to fit her in my mind. Probably because I've already assigned her the role of crazy German lady. But, if you were involved in the smuggling, you would have... You would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he was killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. Bubble assault! So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Oh, I love this character. It's very weird because a lot of the time it's very hard to get me to like a villain, but I absolutely love this one. Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the kill. Oh god, you got some bubble soap in my eyes. First it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenario who is under the microscope. It seems to me that our killer is going great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You've no proof that Miss Rhoda is being set up or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame of the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenario from the very beginning. Is it the wine? The grape juice footprints? Because, like... Or is it the suitcase? I think it would be the suitcase, because that is more of an attachment to her than the freaking footprints. Oh, there we go. The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body from the lower deck up to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so?
She's gonna pull her gun out of that teddy bear. I guess it's not a bear, it's... Is it like a... I don't know what it is. It's like a badger or a tanuki or something? The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenario for the murder. Miss Tenario buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, I know how to speak, I'm Edgeworth. That would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do with whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as if I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree?
Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway?
That's because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? I think it was where the murder took place. The special circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. Wow, that's a lot more obtuse reasoning than I thought that would be. No matter which country customs, it's quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenario or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal movements is not Miss Tenario or myself, but you, Miss Cammy Melee. Only you and you alone could be the killer.
Yeah. And?
What do you mean? You're going to go to jail?
Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence.
Ah! I can see the outline. Ooh, what's this soundtrack? I really like this one. Sorry, I'm just sitting here and listening to it for a second. Yeah, I really like this. Okay, let's continue. Sorry. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture. The cell phone? Yeah, because everything else on this list has a reason. That's just his wallet, it fell out. This is the fake murder weapon. Yeah, it would be the cell phone.
Take that.
I don't have any actual evidence.
I thought not.
But that's because it went missing and still is.
Missing? What do you mean by that?
In this complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece that I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca? You were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me.
That's right.
But Agent Hicks's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene.
You mean the killer took the phone with him?
Precisely. Suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer.
Ha ha ha. Come on, get serious.
Says the lady blowing the bubbles in my eyes.
The victim fell to his death from that height. Wouldn't his phone break as well?
We don't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like you to fall off that ledge. Francisca, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Oh, it's gonna ring straight from her. Agent Hicks's phone. It's somewhere ringing from somewhere around here, sir. I love how big Gumshoe's mouth is. He's like a Disney character. His whole stature kind of reminds me of, can't even think of his name. Pete? I can hear it, detective. Now, where is it coming from? Let me do my echolocation dance. Miss Melee, wake up. Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. I got sleepy all of a sudden because it sounds like a lullaby I used to love as a child. I'd have found that cell phone fast. You know, it's not helping that the, Oh, okay, I actually had to go upstairs. I was about to say, like, it should get louder and quieter. The ringing's coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. How can a cell phone even ring for this long without going to voicemail? I wonder if it might be inside this suitcase. I don't hear any sounds coming from inside, sir. I don't suppose the culprit would have been so dumb to try the same trick twice. Trash can. Doesn't seem to be over here. Let's look somewhere else, sir. The ringing's coming from in here, sir. Well, what? No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tenario's. What? March 12th, 4:28 p.m. This just made things a bit harder, I believe. So, Mr. Edgeworth, how'd it go? Where'd you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenario's locker. What, but... Rhoda Tenario! I don't know anything about this phone. It wasn't me, it wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenario right away. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, he conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenario's locker at the same time. This is related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only way that sings truth. Wait, the only voice that sings truth is evidence, and my beautiful voice. That is one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Francisca's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then, why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on or in it. Hey, don't leave, I'm thinking! What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the cell phone. Why is Borginia Man back there? Is he okay? Is he alive? I was hoping he died. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. Edgeworth just throws it on the ground. The battery comes out. There's evidence inside the back of the phone. Oh, it has a cracked screen. The LCD is broken. On a screen, you can't even place a call with this. I thought we could turn it, though. I guess I'll turn it manually. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of a smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case. Oh yeah, the Edgeworth theme. If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. But the phone's all busted up, sir. Ever heard of an SD card, Gumshoe? Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. I'll find a way. Don't worry about that. May I go back to sleep now? The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francisca? I have no idea how technology works. I still have a typewriter in my office. It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that the only LCD screens are broken. That only. It is possible that the photos are still inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Francisca, your phone, if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey, the Isle of Red's nowhere in this pic, sir. But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder, right? Oh, she's right. There's not much we can do, or much we can find out from this about... There ain't much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks's killer, sir. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing we can use in this photo? What's all this? Oh god. Time for the finger bang. Oh, they are cargo shipped from Virginia to Zhangfa. I don't know why I gave him that same one. I remember what voice I think I just gave him like a very high and mighty voice. So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zhangfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Fortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. It says, bend over so I can stick a key in your rectum, then scissors, then Hadoken football eye. It is cloth in English. Cloth, could it be? Is this where the killer... But what? What for is that scary face? Miss Melee. Yes? It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. Oh, I see now. The cloth is all okay. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who the killer is. Huh? Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. The Virginian cargo and this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. Aha! Aha!
Take that!
And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilled. Oh, and the only way they could have known is if they could read Borginian that it was filled with cloth. There's one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zhangfa had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Cammy Melee. I know her name is Melee, but I've forgotten. Ha, that's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Virginian. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. What? There's no need for the killer to tear through the boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian well then... Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. They would have opened the bed sheets first, wouldn't they?
Take that!
Hey, it says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely, and bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? That if I were the criminal, and I'm not saying I am, this box of bed sheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold. So they were afraid to leave signs at the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Does anyone seriously still use that? Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zhangfa. That's right. That is exactly why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Cammy Melee, and you alone. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do is contact the Zhengfa authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So what do you say, Ms. Melee? Why not confess your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zhengfa? Oh, whoa, stop! What is this? This is ridiculousness. Suicide by Bubbles.
He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble.
Oh, so she was doing something illegal and she freaked out and murdered him. Yeah, okay, I see now. We finished making all the arrangements to take this suspect in, sir. I am really surprised that nothing in this case had to do with that weird calling card we found in the last one. Like, I was expecting to find out more about that, but this is just some random Edgeworth side story, which is what I suppose almost the entirety of this game is anyways. Very good, detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say something about that? They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more information out of her. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. Looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye.
Mr. Edgeworth. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much.
It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation.
But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant.
I hope you can continue to serve me as a flight attendant.
I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation.
That's...
I see you don't have to take it if you don't want it.
No, I mean I would never turn down a lady's generous offer.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, here at iFly Airlines, we are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you, I'll keep that in mind.
Now I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue no matter where you go.
I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir. But boy, was it fun. Edgeworth, Phoenix has like a billion... I mean, the majority of them are much, much younger than him. But he has like a billion girls swarming him. There's one and you just let it go. I shouldn't say it like it's an object, but you let it go. Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francisca? Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? You got it, sir. I'm surprised that, like, the fatty num-nums over there didn't have a single thing to say about this entire case, and he wasn't a part of it. I'm just glad we didn't have to talk to Super Haxor Lutz guy. Francisca?
I thought I told you when I first landed. I have no time for idle chatter.
I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences.
Just who do you think I am?
You are Francisca von Karma, very proud prosecutor, deserving of much respect. Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing parrot, living her life on the name and fame of her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found in this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there is another agent on this case with me. Oh, another agent? He's a star among the Interpol agents and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. Who knows, I may even arrest him. We're simply caught up in with this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The flight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. Or the fight, not the flight. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full. Well, see ya. And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness, I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for a whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Oh, it was nothing, sir. Just happy to be able to work with you again. Ho ho! I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight. Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francisca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective, safety first. Thus I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisca von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war. They would begin to make themselves known through the next instant. Edgeworth speaking. Miles God Edgeworth. Finally, I know who knows how many times earlier. Wait. Finally, I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Have you forgotten my voice? What? Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? But Mr. Amano. Ernest Amano, correct? Ah, so you too remember. Why does that name sound familiar? I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. Ooh, our second kidnapping in Ace Attorney. I'm ready for that. The end. The kidnapped turnabout. Yeah, let's save. And then save in the way I actually save. Usually they have some art. Oh, it's just character art. Ah, glad you can see my godlike crotch. I mean, on like a regular DS screen, I suppose these go like... They go above each other, so it makes sense. But here it just looks weird. Like her head is sticking out and then there's her waist. Well, I suppose that's all for this episode. It was a rather short one, mainly just because... I don't know, it just didn't take that long. I'm trying to even decipher what's happening in this picture. All I see is a bunch of fuzzy fuzz. But I hope you guys enjoy it. This series is a lot more fun to make when you're not in pain, like I normally was for however many episodes ago, and it becomes very disjointed when you have to take constant breaks, but I'm feeling a lot better now, and it makes things much, much easier. Anyways, I will see you guys on the next episode. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I definitely am. It's our second Ace Attorney game we're playing, and we're already near halfway through. So, If you guys are enjoying it, please leave a like. I'd appreciate it a lot. And if you want to become a member of the Dust Brigade, just click subscribe. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Riding out.